On the news tonight, President Buhari celebrates NYSC at 50 and Governor Adeleke at 63. Federal government counsel to prioritize policies that will benefit citizens. On the foreign scene, Thailand's army chief say no coup as election looms. Good evening, welcome to the major report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. President Muhammadu Buhari has, on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria, saluted former head of state General Yakubu Gowon for the wisdom of setting up the National Youth Service Corps NYSC in 1973. According to presidential spokesman Femi Adesina, the Corps has truly achieved the goal of national integration by providing opportunities for cross-cultural interaction and establishing a bridge for improved understanding. The President congratulated the former head of state and all directors general of the Corps, past and present, for inspiring and sustaining a 50-year legacy that has strengthened the web of solidarity, ignited loyalty to the nation, broadened the horizon of citizens, promoted civic responsiveness, created a better understanding of various individuals and ethnic identities, their diversities, and underscored the bottom line of the common values of fairness, justice, and unity. He expressed the belief that the NYSC remains one of the strongest ideas of nation building, institutionally encouraging intercultural and interreligious marriages, settling of people of various tribes in different parts of the country, exploring entrepreneurship and businesses opportunities in places, removing insularity among citizens and enabling a new culture of oneness, brotherliness, and neighborliness. According to the President, as the nation celebrates the 50th anniversary of the NYSC, he affirmed that the scheme must be sustained with a constant reminder of the history, structure, and purpose that should not be abused, trivialized, or undermined for any reason, by keeping a focus on the larger picture that Nigerian unity is a process and collective responsibility that must not be negotiated. As Governor Ademola Adeleke crossed 63 tomorrow, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated him on the occasion of his birthday. The President will join Adeleke families, friends, and associates, and the people of the state in celebration of the day. Also elogize his easygoing outlook, saying it has won him fan base across people of all ages. Buhari's goodwill message is contained in a statement issued by Special Advisor on Media Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina. President Buhari rejoiced with Governor Ademola Adeleke as he celebrates another prosperous year. The President affirms that the Senator who represented Osun West in the upper chamber of the National Assembly solidified his base and gradually built a formidable network of friends and political allies that have helped his many victories. Buhari, who congratulated the governor on his victory at the Supreme Court, charged him to use his victory to work for the well-being and progress of the people and trust God for proper guidance. Meanwhile, Governor Ademola Adeleke has been described as a leader whose unique skill, humanity, and experience are major assets that will take development of Osun State to greater heights. The umbrella body of all sons and daughters of Iwo Land, Iwo Board of Trustees stated this in a congratulatory message to Senator Adeleke on his triumph at the Supreme Court as the Governor of Osun State, as well as his 63rd birthday. A message signed by the President of the body, Professor Lai Odurode, and Secretary Are Jiriaila says Oba Abdulrasheed Akobitilu Ban, members of the Board of Trustees and well-wishers, and as well as sons and daughters of Iwo Land, felicitated the Governor on the auspicious occasion of his birthday. The statement further indicated that Supreme Court verdict that pronounced Senator Adeleke as the Governor did not come as a surprise, as the people voted him overwhelmingly in the interest of peace, progress, and development of the state. The group, however, prayed God to grant the Governor longevity, vitality, and wisdom on the occasion of his birthday anniversary. In the same vein, the Arabiji of Irabiji, Oba Abdulrasheed Olabomi, has felicitated the Governor Adeleke on his victory at the Supreme Court. In a letter personally signed by Oba Olabomi, he saluted the tenacity, diligence, and perseverance of Governor Adeleke, describing the Supreme Court judgment as the will of Allah. Oba Olabomi called on Governor Adeleke to see the people of Irabiji as partners in progress, adding that they are ready to cooperate with the Governor. He reiterated the commitment of the people of Irabiji to the success of the Ademola Adeleke's administration. Workers in the state local government service have been assured of improved condition of service and welfare as Supreme Court affirms Senator Ademola Adeleke as validly elected Governor of Osun State. The assurance was given by Yeyelu Amudupe Ola Adeleke Soni while receiving the leadership of Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, who paid a congratulatory visit to the governor's country home. Governor's office correspondent Abdulrahim Adekelekun has more.
Congratulating the Adeleke dynasty on the victories recorded by Senator Ademola Adeleke at the polls, at the appeal courts, and most recently at the Supreme Court. The head of local government administration from Ede South local government, Dr. Wale Adedapo, and Noge chairman for the council, Comrade Gbadamosi Muideen, said the local government administration has witnessed so many positive developments since the governor took over the mantle of administration. The duo listed resuscitation of impressed, training, and other benefits as some of the things in the local government that have changed. They described Yeye Modupe Ola Adeleke Soni as a very compassionate woman who is committed to engendering good governance. The leadership of Noge therefore called on local government staff to embrace punctuality, efficiency, and hard work to justify the kind gesture of the state governor.
torí pé Ọlọ́run ti ní ń tá a fẹ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ńlá rí. àwa síbi lónìí ojú wípé àwa dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run, àwa kí olóríire, ẹni rere, ẹni tí gbogbo èèyàn nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí.
Responding, Yeyelu Amodupe Adeleke Soni described the workers as the engine room of government and called on the visiting workers not to allow partisan politics to affect their productivity. Represented by Honorable Lukman Afolabi, Yeyelu Amodupe said the emergence of Senator Ademola Adeleke is a product of divine arrangement and thereby assured them that the PDP administration in the state will leave no stone unturned in providing basic facilities that will promote grassroots development. Yeye assured the council workers that the government will support facility upgrade and repositioning of the local government secretariat. Among the Noge members that visited were the directors of administration, information, water and environmental sanitation, finance, planning, procurement, and internal auditor for the local government. From Governor's office, it has been Abdurrahim Adekelekun reporting.
In the meantime, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke will on the 6th of next month inaugurate members of the 8th Assembly of Osun State House Assembly. The Clerk of the House, Mr. Akinwole Amusha, made this known while inaugurating a 7-man ad hoc committee under its leadership saddled with the responsibility of ensuring seamless inauguration of members of the 8th Assembly. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosin Oladokun now completes the story.
This is the Osun State House of Assembly Alo Chamber. In the next couple of weeks, we are expecting the members of the 8th Assembly to be constituted in this Alo Chamber. This is one of the 26 seats where it is expected for members of the 8th Assembly to be occupied. We want to believe come June 6th next month, the 8th Assembly will be officially and constitutionally constituted under the authority and able leadership of Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke. 6th June 2023, members of the 8th House of Assembly will be officially inaugurated by Governor Ademola Adeleke. However, barely few weeks ahead of the historic day, Clerk of the House, Mr. Akinwale Amosan Act, today inaugurated 7-man ad hoc committee who will direct publicity, protocol and invitation, security, entertainment, decoration, technical, sanitation and medical committees. According to the clerk, the central mandate of the constituted committee is to ensure the similar process towards the successful inauguration of the 8 assembly members. They charged the committee to prioritize peace, unity and successful outing of the inauguration come June the 6th next month.
As we may be aware, the current assembly of Osun State is winding up, and God willing, by the 5th day of June, the 7th assembly of Osun will come to an end, and there's need to prepare ground to inaugurate a new assembly come the 6th day of June 2023. That's the sense of inaugurating this ad hoc committee.
Speaking shortly after the inauguration, Publicity Chairman, who doubles as the Director of Information and Public Relations, Osun State House Assembly, Mr. Laide Lawan, explained that with the permission of the 7th Assembly Speaker, Honorable Timothy Uwe, necessary plans geared towards smooth inauguration of the members of the 8th Assembly is the solely responsibility of the constituted committees.
The committee, like I said, has just been inaugurated today by the clerk of the House, who has the mandate of Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Timothy Uwe, to go ahead to inaugurate committee. The central aims and objective, all the committee need to see to the success of the inauguration of the 8th Assembly.
In the course of the inauguration of the 7-man ad hoc committee, Chairman Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, Osun State Chapter, Comrade Akim Adesina, was also sworn in for another tenure in office. Uluwatosin Oladokun, Osbc News.
To build a sustainable economy and promote good governance, Nigeria needs to implement policies that prioritize the needs of citizens over the interests of political elites. Those who spoke with Osbc News in separate interviews stated this against the backdrop of some political office holders called for severance of packages and its implication on the nation's economy. Our reporter Oluwatobiloba Odunuga has details.
Continue to throw the humongous severance packages for the president, vice president, state governors, legislators and other political appointees leaving office in May 2023. Many believe that this tradition across the country by Nigerian leaders are anti-democratic and antithetical towards the growth of the citizenry, more so coming at a period of excruciatingly harsh economic situation characterized by highest inflation figure over the past 25 years. They equally frowned at this trying period in the history of the country when soaring food prices, insecurity, high cost of doing business and huge debt profile are confronting the nation, stressing that the pay packages could trigger mass revolt against the political elite. Speaking on the implications of the humongous severance packages for political office holders, legal practitioners including Mr. Yomi Obaditon and Mr. Bukola Onifade said the call shows the greediness of the Nigerian politicians, noting that it shows that the Nigerian politicians are not being considerate of an average Nigerian growth. The duo noted that the payment of exit allowances to political office holders in Nigeria has negative implications on the country's economy as it drains public funds, encourages corruption, fraud and widens income inequality.
Today, people serve government for 4 years. When they are going, they will say you have to build them houses, you have to buy 4 cars, you pay their medical bill as well as their family and many other things. So, and the reason why they do that is because they see politics as commerce. Politics in worldwide supposed to be a service to humanity.
We call it hasty generalization, that what they are doing now is just for them to serve their selfish interests. How could you say the government that is going less than 2 weeks without implementing policy, passing some laws that will make provision for them after they have left government, they will still continue to benefit from the government resources, from the government money? It shows their capacity as a lazy person who is looking for way of making themselves comfortable from the government cover.
They noted that for the government to build a sustainable economy and promote good governance, Nigeria needs to implement policies that prioritize the needs of the citizenry by providing basic social amenities, which will help cushion the excruciating pains in Nigeria. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunuga, OSBC News.
The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Hamid, has urged insurance operators in West Africa to reposition the industry for global competitiveness. She spoke at the West African Insurance Company Association Educational Conference and celebration of its 50th anniversary in Lagos. She noted that the objective behind the African Continental Free Trade Area was to accelerate intra-African trade by providing a single market for goods and services, facilitate movement of persons in order to deepen the economic integration and prosperity of the continent. Ahmed emphasized the need for people to establish high-quality insurance database to provide a holistic view of the industry's operation in the sub-region. Nigeria's debt situation poses significant challenges for the incoming administration. Hence, the incoming government will need to implement policies aimed at managing the country's debt burden while exploring alternative sources of financing and working with international financial institutions to address the issue of debt sustainability. Those who spoke for Osbc News in separate interviews on Nigeria's debt implications for incoming administrations said it is a challenge. Our reporter Oluwatobiloba Druga has the rest of the story.
Nigerians have continued to raise questions over incessant borrowing of the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari at the twilight of the exit of his government. Many believe Nigeria's debt situation has significant implications for the incoming administration, lamenting that when is Nigeria going to wake up from our slumber to start making use of our mineral resources judiciously. According to reports, Nigeria's total debt stood at over 77 trillion naira, with external debt accounting for over 75% of the total debt. Speaking with OSBC News on this development, a financial expert, Dr. Yinka Anjus, said Nigeria's debt burden has been a major concern for the country as it puts pressure on the government's finances and limits its ability to invest in key areas such as infrastructure, healthcare, and education. He added that one of the key implications for the incoming administration will be to find ways to manage the country's debt burden, noting that it may involve implementing policies aimed at reducing government spendings, increasing revenue generation, and improving the efficiency of the government revenue generating institutions.
I'm telling you, I'm becoming seriously afraid of the immediate future of this country vis-a-vis the incoming administration. However, there are always solutions to every problem. Borrowing must stop. In fact, it's in the books that if there's a new administration coming in and there are humongous amount of borrowing from the outgoing or previous one, you must draw a line that we must not borrow for a while. And let us now look into what had been borrowed. What's the purpose of borrowing? How much has been used? We will now start on a clean slate.
Corroborating his submission, a public affairs commentator, Dr. Soji Akikpelu, said the incoming administration will also need to prioritize investments in key sectors of the economy to spur growth and create jobs opportunity, which would help the growth of the nation's economy. Dr. Akikpelu added that the incoming administration will need to address the country's over-reliance on external borrowing, saying the current administration has been criticized for incurring too much debt, especially from foreign lenders.
Wonders will never end. Look at what is happening in the presidency. The president is just taking another fresh loan. He has sent a letter to the House to approve a loan of about $200 million US. It's highly embarrassing that things are done like this again. I think why he's doing that is because it is still his party. I mean the federal government. It is his party that is still in power at the federal level, but this should not be done that way.
Analysts believe that if the incoming administration wants to survive the debt crisis, it will need to work closely with international financial institutions such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund to address Nigeria's debt situation. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunuga, Osbc News.
The federal government has said it will no longer be responsible for correctional management of state offenders, urging state government to build and manage their own custodial facilities as empowered in the newly amended Nigeria Correctional Service Act 2019. Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola said even though the justice system clearly segments state and federal offenders, the federal government has been the only one in charge of custodial facilities in the country. But in order to form the reforms in the correction service to be visible, the Constitution has been amended. He made this known at a two-day high-level conference on decongestion and correction administration in Abuja. According to the Minister, Nigeria at present has 244 custodial centers, with the bulk of them being in the state capitals, and the centers which have a provision for 52,278 inmates exceeded their limit by over 23,000. The minister pointed out that the objective of the constitutional amendment on corrections assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari is to remedy the overcrowding of the custodial centers resulting from a high number of pre-trial detentions and arbitrary arrests. Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission says a total of 2,246 Nigerians have so far been evacuated from Sudan. Head of Media Public Relations and Protocol Unit of NICOM, Mr. Abdulrahman Balogun, stated this in Abuja while giving update on the federal government evacuation effort since May 3. It will be recalled that the war that broke out in Sudan had disrupted the academic programs of many Nigerian students, leading to the evacuation to the country. Now welcome to our sports segment. Golden Eagles' hopes of qualifying for the 2023 Under-17 World Cup and winning the Cup, the African Cup of Nations, for the first time in 16 years were dashed following a 2-1 quarter-final defeat to fellow West African Burkina Faso. Forward Abubakar Kamara scored a brace to help the Burkinabe to a 2-0 lead at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Algiers, but England forward Abubakar Abdullahi reduced the deficit midway through a second-half goal, but it was not enough to, as the Baby Stallions sealed a high-fought win to reach the last four of the Under-17 AFCON in Algeria, as well as a seal for a World Cup ticket. Coach Nduka Ubade did not make any changes in the team that defeated South Africa 3-2 in the last group change, and they made a fine start to the game but struggled to break Burkina Faso's defense. Thailand Army Chief General Narukaji Waitas pledged not to stage a coup as political parties gear up for final campaign rallies ahead of an election that could see the military-backed government voted out. Olawumi Okonawo has details.
General Jikwete made the pledge despite the army's frequent seizure of power in Thailand. Voters are predicted to deliver a heavy defeat to the government of former army chief and coup leader Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, feeling fears that the military may actually seek to cling on to power. According to reports, General Jikwete stated that there would be no return for military rule, noting that the coup of the past were very negative. It added that the Prime Minister will be chosen by the 500 elected members of Parliament and 250 strong Senate whose members were appointed by Prayut's junta, stacking the deck in favor of army-linked parties. Meanwhile, the co-founder of the UK software firm Autonomy, Mike Lynch, has been extradited to the United States to face criminal charges in a nearly 10-year legal battle. Appearing in court, he was ordered by a judge to pay a $100 million bond, hand over his passport, and be placed under a 24-hour guard to secure his release. Lynch has said the company did not know what it was doing with Autonomy and was out of his depth in understanding its technology. Meanwhile, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, has been convicted of overspeeding in London. According to reports, he was ordered to pay a fine of £510 in total for exceeding a 20-mile-per-hour limit near Lambeth Palace. The 67-year-old man was also handed 3 penalty points after being caught by a speed camera in his Volkswagen Golf on the A3036 Albert Embankment. He was convicted in a private hearing at Lavender Hill Magistrates Court. The same day, he criticized the government's plan to combat the issue of migrants crossing the channel on small boats as morally unacceptable and politically impractical. The conviction came just days after Welby led the King's coronation ceremony. Olaomi Okolawon, Osbc News.
To end the major report, here again are the main points. President Buhari celebrates NYSC at 50 and Governor Adeleke at 63. Says Governor Adeleke has built an array of friends to his political advantage. Federal government counseled to prioritize policies that will benefit citizens as the nation braces up for a new government. On the foreign scene, Finland Army Chief says no coup as election looms to give room for full democratization in Finland. That was the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Michael Adini. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thank you for being there. Good night.